I'm Aaron Maté, sitting in for Jimmy Dore, and here is the headline from the Associated Press. Thousands of hours of surveillance footage from the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th are being made available to Fox News host Tucker Carlson. The stunning level of access granted by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is raising alarms about safety and security.
Not really? Not when they let Triumph the Insult comic dog in the dead of night? Right after January 6th?
And here's Tucker Carlson making the announcement of what he got.
So for really more than 2 years now, we've been complaining about, and we think it's justified, the fact that the U.S. Congress has held thousands, tens of thousands of hours of closed-circuit camera footage from the public. They have not released any of it from January 6th. And January 6th, of course, is a transformative event in this country. It's been used to change the country. So there are about 44,000 hours. And we have, you may have read this today, been granted access to that. And we believe that access is unfettered. We believe we have secured the right to see whatever we want to see. So we've been there about a week. Our producers, some of our smartest producers, have been there looking at this stuff and trying to figure out what it means and how it contradicts or not the story that we've been told for more than 2 years. We think already that in some ways it does contradict that story. And so we're going to spend the rest of this week taking a look at it, assessing it as honestly as we can, and we're going to bring you what we find next week.
So that's Tucker Carlson making the announcement. They're going over this footage they got from House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, thousands of hours from January 6th, and they're going to bring the audience the results, right? So, okay, some transparency to a really important event. You think?
How do you watch that? 40,000 hours. I mean, how do you break that up?
You got a team of producers, and you probably watch things on fast forward to speed up the boring parts. But you know, that's how you do research. He's announcing this now. They're putting in the time, and they're going to release their results in the coming weeks. So you think, some transparency about this major event might be welcome, but guess how Democrats are reacting? They're not happy about this. This is Chuck Schumer. He says Speaker McCarthy is needlessly exposing the Capitol complex to one of the worst security risks since 9/11.
What?
The footage he's making available to Fox News is a treasure trove of closely held security information.
Like what?
I don't know, different angles of the building. But the thing is, the problem with their narrative here is they've already released a lot of footage themselves because they did a whole, if you remember this, January 6th commission, right, which consumed the country for a long time. And they released footage that they felt advanced their narrative about January 6th. So they've already released footage that they feel serves their narrative.
Maybe there's secret doors and stuff that they're showing. Maybe it's like Hogwarts there.
Well,
there's a lot of behind the wall doors that you didn't know about.
That's what they're not.
A vanishing cabinet in the back.
Here's more from Bloomberg. Speaker McCarthy's transfer of video from January 6th could expose security gaps at the Capitol, says a senior House Democrat. Didn't January 6th already expose a security gap?
Like the entire police force standing down? There wasn't a gap? Okay.
Here's more from Benny Thompson, House Democrat. It's hard to overstate the potential security risks if this material were to be used irresponsibly, Benny Thompson said. Here's more from Hakeem Jeffries. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says we are working to confirm the precise nature of the video transfer to Tucker Carlson related to January 6th. Jeffries says this is an egregious security breach that endangers U.S. Capitol Police who defended the Capitol on January 6th.
They didn't.
And they already were endangered. They went through the danger. Now we're trying to figure out what happened.
We're trying to figure out why they did not defend the Capitol as they would have if any other thing was there.
Here's Adam Schiff. Kevin McCarthy turned over January 6th videos to right-wing propagandist Tucker Carlson, a man who spews Kremlin talking points, suggests January 6th was a false flag, and spreads the big lie. Make no mistake, this isn't about transparency. It's about fueling dangerous conspiracy theories.
Wow.
Unlike the conspiracy theories that Adam Schiff spewed for several years, that the president of the U.S. was a Russian agent and that he had even seen the secret evidence to confirm it. That's not what he's talking about.
Hiding footage is transparency.
So here's more from those who are not happy about this. This is Frank Figliuzzi, a former FBI official. He's not happy about this, and here he is on MSNBC.
Frank, people could find this move on McCarthy's part unscrupulous, dangerous, disgusting, terrible. But is it legal? Because he doesn't care what our opinions are.
Yeah, he's the speaker. He made this call all by himself, apparently. We don't know what transpired between him and Tucker Carlson, why he chose Tucker, for example. But it's done. So now we have to live with the ramifications. What are
We don't know why. Why would he come to us?
the ramifications? From where I look at this, there's legit security concerns. What are they? For example, we have seen video clips from January 6th where we see Nancy Pelosi being escorted off the floor of Congress. And then the next shot we see, and only the next shot we see, is video of her in a safe room, right? We don't see her being transited through a particular pathway. We don't see the entrance to the safe room. We don't know where that is. Those are the kinds of things, code words with Capitol Police officers on strategy, tactics, who's where, camera angles that show hidden cameras within the Capitol building. All of that could be exposed if it's done irresponsibly without a security review. And I think that's what we're dealing with here. That's what concerns me.
So my Hogwarts thing was right. They were going to see the secret passages. Okay.
But there's an even bigger security risk to the country.
It sounds like they just gave him like copies of it. They didn't give him the original footage just hold, right?
They gave him copies of the original footage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So his team can look through it.
So
Hey, JD.
Are you going to show that footage of the cops saying that stuff?
I didn't get it.
What?
I didn't get it.
You want the earpiece? They got the earpiece pushing people into the building?
But
that one?
The cops saying that we were set up. That one.
I didn't get it.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have it.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
security breach to say that.
But we can talk about it. Here is Jamie Raskin and Joy Reid, and they're going to talk about the even bigger risk of giving this footage over to Tucker Carlson.
What the hell's on his head?
Oh, he's going through chemo.
Oh.
Going through chemo. Yeah. So that's yeah.
Well, we wish him well.
Yes, we do. But so they're going to talk about the even bigger risk that this move to give Tucker Carlson the footage poses to the country, because guess who also could get their hands on this footage if Tucker Carlson gets it? None other than Vladimir Putin.
But also, I'm concerned that these are the people that the Russians listen to, including Tucker, that he can put on something that is false, not real, but that is very useful to our enemies, including knowing where the security cameras are on Capitol Hill.
Well, look, Tucker Carlson is a pro-Putin, pro-Orban, pro-autocrat propagandist. So while we've got the president of the United States over in Ukraine expressing solidarity with the forces of democratic freedom, Kevin McCarthy is releasing these tapes to one network, not making it public for everybody, not giving it to CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times, Washington Post, giving it to Fox News and to Tucker Carlson so he can forward his propaganda theories. And as you say, this is a serious security risk. I mean, the reason, there's thousands of hours of footage that are out there already, but the reason all of it wasn't released is precisely because it lays out floor design, it lays out evacuation routes, it lays out where the vice president went, it lays out where the senior members of Congress were evacuated, and so on. So I hope that Kevin McCarthy at least has planned for that. But at this point, since he's made it available to one network, he may as well make it available to all networks, because we know, as you suggest, they're going to be cherry picking it in order to, corroborate however they can their absurd conspiracy theories embodied in the Patriot Purge series.
One can only hope that all of the networks, including this one, will insist that everyone get it, because I've never heard of one network getting exclusive access to what is essentially government information. If you're going to give it out, give it.
Except for when MSNBC and other blue and outlets were being given false information to push Russiagate. That was exclusive to them because that was pushing their narrative.
Okay, I have another question. What the hell is she wearing? She doesn't have cancer, does she? Why is she wearing chainmail down one side of her arm? Look at that. That looks like some out of sci-fi.
Everyone, but it
I mean, that really is out of Putin's playbook. You pick
it is.
your propaganda
absolutely.
book. You pick
it is.
your propaganda mouthpiece and you give it to them.
Let's hear that one more time.
Putin's playbook. You pick
it is.
your propaganda mouthpiece and you give it to them.
Yeah, right out of Putin's playbook.
Oh, not giving it to MSNBC and giving it to Tucker Carlson is out of Putin. That's out of all your playbooks, by the way.
Unless you're giving it to MSNBC, you're right out of Putin's playbook. But here's the thing. So they're talking about how this is being selectively given to Tucker Carlson and that we should all get it. Well, They can get it because guess what?
What?
Greg Sargent of the Washington Post pointed this out, and he is a diehard Blue Anon member, but he made the inconvenient disclosure that this footage is available to them as well. Check out what he says. If Kevin McCarthy is going to give January 6th footage to Tucker Carlson, the Democrats should make it available to real news organizations. Like, for example, the Washington Post, which lies about everything. I've confirmed with the Capitol Police that House Democrats can access the footage. This Republican propaganda stunt can't go unanswered.
Well, here's why it will. The other side of the media, they don't want to sit and do the work. You think they're going to go through 40,000 hours? They wait for the intelligence people to give them the good parts.
Exactly.
And they don't have that.
And that's what the January 6th Commission was all about, was putting out the narrative that they wanted to present. Here's more from Greg Sargent. House Democrats can access all the January 6th footage right now, even though they're in the minority. A spokesman for the Capitol Police tells me that Democrats would then be free to decide what to do with it. So Democrats have equal access to this footage as well. And if they give it to MSNBC, is that out of Putin's playbook too?
Wait, so, okay, so it's just the Democrats are not going to give it to the mainstream media because it wouldn't help them in any way to see what happened.
That's if
and they can say Kevin McCarthy won't give it to us.
Yes, exactly.
And make it like, okay.
Well, he blew up that excuse though, because he's saying that they can get it. But I do think I don't think they're going to give it.
Dude, when you said it, I was shocked. I was like, what? I thought they just gave it to Tucker Carlson. That's all I've heard.
And here's more from Greg Sargent. Democrats have pointed out that Kevin McCarthy has compromised Capitol security by making footage available to Tucker Carlson. That's true, but it isn't an argument against Democrats making all or some of the footage available to news organizations. So he's pointing out the Democrats can release it to their own partisan news organizations, just as McCarthy is releasing it to his.
You don't trust your PR team with the footage? That's what I would say to the Democrats.
Doing live stand-up comedy in Tempe, Palm Springs, Milwaukee, Nashville, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, and Hartford, Connecticut. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets and become a premium member. Get access to all our content.